So this say box will arrive, weighs 46 kilograms, so we recommend that you have 2 people lift it when you're moving it about. So the first thing we're going to do is get into the box, so you just need a good pair of scissors and just cut along the sellotape along the top of the box. Right, so now we're into our box. You'll find on top is a piece of card like so. Attached to it will be the tools pack and the manual. So just going to take that out for now and pop it to the side. To get the bike out of the box, what we're going to do is lie the box down flat on the surface and just grab each side and just pull it in. So we'll do that now. Like that, put it gently down, and just grab each side of the polystyrene side, wiggle it out side by side. Once the bike is out of the box, what we're going to do now is just remove all of the packaging. At this stage it is important to note that removing all of your packaging just to check inside all of it before throwing it away, because there are some important parts inside of it. Once everything's been unpacked from the box, what you should have is the main bike frame, the saddle, the owner's manual, the monitor with batteries, the seat post, the left and right pedals, the bottle holder, the front and back stabiliser, 3 knobs, the tools, 4 bolts, the handlebars and the handlebar post. What we're going to do first is attach the stabilisers to the bike. So we're going to use the rear stabiliser first because that's the lightest part of the bike. So if you just grab the rear stabiliser, that's the one without the wheels on, and just grab 2 of the bolts. So just going to unscrew them quickly. Then place 2 of the bolts through the bottom of the stabiliser. So it goes through both holes like that. Then just holding them on the other side with your fingers, just lift the frame of the bike up. Like that. Pop your washers on top. And then just screw the nuts on top of the bolts. Then with your multi-tool that you get in the tools pack, just use it to tighten up the bolts. Now we're going to move on to the front of the bike, so we're going to do exactly the same as the rear stabiliser, but we're just going to grab the front stabiliser this time, along the wheels on, make sure the wheels are pointing outwards. So we have 2 bolts again, just feed it to the bottom. Again, holding them in place with your fingers, we're going to lift the frame of the bike and just slot it underneath into the 2 holes in the frame. And just bear in mind that this is the heavier part of the bike because it's got the flywheel on the front. And then just holding them in on the bottom, we're going to pop our washers on top. And then just add the nuts onto the bolts, just secure them in place. Again, grabbing our multi-tool just to tighten them up. What we're going to do next is add the seat post. So the seat post will come in the box like this, which is upside down at the moment, so we're just going to slide that out like that. That's one side. Then we're going to slot the seat post into the frame, leave a hole at the front there, and then just make sure it lines up with the holes on the side of the seat post. With your seat post in place, you notice that you'll have 10 levels on the front. So just set it to your ideal seat height, and then take on the knobs, and all you've got to do now is just screw it in place. So now we're going to take the top half of the seat post that we took out earlier. That slides into the top like so. You'll have the numbers 1 to 5 on the front, and it matches up with the numbers on there. So we're just going to slide that in like that, slide in fairly easily. And take the second knob that comes with it, and that's going to fit into the hole at the bottom there. So again, find your ideal position and then just screw it in. And then to finish off the seat post, we're just going to take the saddle. The bolts will be quite loose on there to begin with, but if not, just loosen up yourself. Then just pop that on top of there like that. And then at this stage you'll be able to adjust the seat's position to how you like it. Just make sure it's fairly flat. And then again, using your multi-tool, just tighten up the bolts on either side so the seat doesn't move. Now we're going to move on to the handlebars. So you can take your handlebar post and slot it into the top of the frame there. Again, you've got to have different position for the holes on the front, just line it up with the holes on the frame. And exactly like with the seat post, we're going to take the third and final knob and just screw it into the front of the frame there to secure the handlebar post in place. At this stage you'll find 4 bolts in the front of the handlebar post, so what we're going to do now is just unscrew them. So what we're going to do now is take the handlebars and you're going to have a bracket for the monitor. So the bracket's going to go in there like that, handlebar's going to go on top, and then you just bolt it all together. So we're just going to take the handlebars now and then the bracket for the monitor. So just pop that over there like that, make sure you line the holes up. Then to take one of your bolts and pass it back through just to lock it in place. And now we're going to just attach that to the handlebar post, like so, and just loosely screw it in for now. Once you've got one bolt in place to lock everything together, it's pretty simple then just to add the 3 of the remaining bolts in each of the corners. So I'm just going to do that quickly now. So we've got all 4 bolts loosely screwed in. So we're just going to take our Allen key now that comes with the tool back and just tighten them all up. And also remember at this stage not to trap your sensor wire underneath there, make sure it's nice and loose. So now we're going to attach the monitor. So quite simply, just pop your actors in, you should have a display to show up. Then we're going to take the sensor wire, which is located underneath the casing there. And then we're just going to stretch it up between the handlebars. We'll have a female and a male connection there. So just line up the pins and slot them together. And steer a clip them together. Then we're going to take the wire for the heart rate. And then you'll have a little circle on the back that says pulse above it. And just plug that in there. Then once it's plugged in, just slot it onto the monitor bracket. Now we're going to attach the pedals to the bike. So what we'll do first is put the resistance all the way on so your cranks don't move. And we'll start with the left side. Each pedal is marked, so you'll have an L for the left, R for the right. And then just make note that the left pedal is screwed in counterclockwise. So just line up the thread. And then just start screwing it in with your fingers. Again, left side is anti-clockwise. And then screw that in as much as it'll go. And then just grab your tool and then just use it to feed it the rest of the way through. And you should know it's all the way in when there's no thread showing on there at all. And it can be a bit tough because it's a brand new pedal. So just make sure you give it enough force, but at the same time you shouldn't have to force it. If you feel that you're forcing it, there's a chance you'll cross thread it. So now we're moving on to the right side of the bike. So again, I've just tightened up the resistance all the way so the crank doesn't move. And then with the right side, that's turned clockwise. So the left side is anti-clockwise, right side clockwise. So I'm going to line it up the thread once again and just twist it in there. And then just screw it in with your fingers. So it starts getting a bit tough, and then once again use our tool. Just screw it all the way in so there's no thread showing whatsoever. Finally, we're just going to attach the bottle holder to the bike. Now on the 2017 model, the bottle holder is now located on the side rather than there. It's for easy access when you are cycling. So it's going to take the frame, you'll have 2 screws in there, so we're just going to take them out. And then attach them inside the bracket like that. Make sure you've got the lip at the bottom so the bottle doesn't fall out. And then using the end of our multi-tool, we're just going to screw it in like that. Then just grab the other screw and then tighten them up. And with 2 screws in place, we're just going to tighten them up like so. So the bracket's nice and solid, and then you pop your bottle in place. So once you've completed your bike, what we're going to do now is just jump on and give it a test. So once you're on it, just start pedaling. Make sure that everything's nice and tight, that you've got no shaky parts or anything like that. Make sure it's nice and smooth when you're cycling, that you've got no noises that you don't think you should hear. Again, just go through your resistance levels, make sure that you can feel a difference in resistance as you go up and down the levels. And finally, just make sure that your heart rate sensor is working as well, so you know you're correct everything correctly on there. And of course, if you want to buy a JLL IC300, just click here.